Hi, year 13. Okay, so I hope you had a good Christmas and a good New Year. And of course, we find ourselves now back in this situation where we are in, I suppose, another mini lockdown and we're doing distance learning. So, what does this mean then? Well, in terms of what the exam board were planning to do, they were planning to give you an assessment on Nazi Germany, an assessment on French Revolution, and collecting your coursework. And we haven't heard anything different yet. So, until we do, we need to continue with that process, really. So, to that end, obviously, you've got a lesson for day Thursday and one for Friday as well. So, I just want you to think about the coursework, really. Okay, so first of all, update me through your email about how much of the coursework you've done. Okay, tell me how many sources you have got. Tell me what type of sources. So very briefly, do you have like two on the economics of France? Do you have one on the American Revolution, perhaps? Do you have one or two on the Parliament? So you get the idea, okay? And then think about what type of sources you got. Are they all written? Because if they're all written, you might need to try and find yourself something which perhaps is a picture, like a cartoon or something, all right? It's not necessarily essential, but the examiners, they do like to say they'd like to see a range of source material, because if you're always analysing the same type of source, then the examiners will say, well, okay, you're very good at analysing that type of source, but you haven't shown me how you can do other types of sources. So that's why they ask for a range. Okay, if you really want to hit the higher grade boundaries, which, let's face it, you all want to do with this coursework. Okay, and of course, tell me how much you've written, because before we left in December, I think had school continued, we would have had that deadline where I asked you to write up one source. Okay, so I'm hoping all of you will be able to tell me, yeah, I've written up one source. But to be honest, I've had a look at the shared area or the shared Google Drive, and I'm not sure how many of you have really written up that first source. Okay, so I imagine that email will take you about 10-15 minutes maximum. Okay, I'm not expecting an essay in the email, just a very quick update. With the rest of Thursday's lesson, then, get on with your coursework and the rest of Friday's lesson. Because let's face it now, we're in January and we've been talking about the coursework from September. I mean, look at how much work you've done on the coursework and think to yourself, it has taken you 4 months to get to this point. And you've got now, so yeah, I suppose we're at the midway point, aren't we? Because you've got about the same amount of time before this needs to be sent off. And of course, I need it in much sooner than it needs to be sent off, because you can imagine marking this is going to take me quite a while. So yeah, get on with your coursework today and tomorrow. And by tomorrow, the deadline for that first source to be written up is there. Now, if you've written up that first source, please continue with your coursework. Get on to your next source. Next week, we will be doing Nazi Germany. Now, before I leave you, I've got a bit of time here to help you with your coursework writer, because I know that it's the most difficult thing, is writing it up, actually, isn't it? You will know that on the shared Google Drive, there's a folder there called Resources. And there's this exemplar essay, which basically got 100 UMS marks, okay? Now, when you read this, bear in mind that this took redraft after redraft after redraft. But look at the types of phrases being used, okay? These types of phrases that I've highlighted here are the types of phrases that almost any answer should have, yeah? Talking about the strength of the source to historians, talking about how they can form their interpretation, talking about the significance of the source. Here, the historian would be able to argue that, in other words, this paragraph is all about the context, okay? So I haven't highlighted it all the way through. I think that would be giving you perhaps a bit too much, but you've got this whole essay here, which of course is about a totally different topic, but look at the way it's been written, look at the structure, look how clear the sentences are, okay, and really strive for that in your write-up. Any issues at all, you need to email me, but bear in mind there's of course only so much help I can give with the coursework, okay? So, as I said, get on with it. Best of luck, year 13. And please email me if you need to. Okay, thanks.